Hi everyone, Phil from Tech for Techs here. Today we're going to be looking at these two new keyboards from Cherry. They are Cherry MX G80-3000N keyboards, and one's a TKL version, which basically means 10 keyless, which in basics means it's a really short keyboard in comparison to the other. They've got full RGB and everything like that. These are actually a follow-up to one of their original keyboards from the 80s, which is called the G80-3000. We have links in the description just below if you're interested in purchasing, and if you click those links, you'll get the latest prices as well. Before we go on to the main video, if you would do us a favour, click that like button, subscribe, click the bell as well. And that way you'll get notifications of new videos and live streams we do. Again, doing all these things helps support the channel, and helping to support the channel allows us to release more videos, better quality videos, and more content exclusively just for you. Okay, so let's have a look at the boxes. Other than the obvious difference, as in this one's shorter than that one, they're pretty much near enough identical, to be honest with you. The reason why it's shorter, because this is the 10 keyless version, or the TKL as they call it, which basically means you're missing this bit here, which is your number pad on the right hand side. To make it shorter, not everyone uses a number pad, and also that makes it a little bit more portable as well if you do want to move it around or you're in a compact area. But otherwise, as Cherry always is, their boxes are pretty plain, is probably the best way of putting it. So it's usually a white box, it's got a Cherry logo on somewhere, and then you've got a picture of the product, nothing over the top. It does have a sticker on the top corner, just saying that there's software on their website if you want to download it, as well as the language at the bottom left-hand corner. Obviously, the Euro and UK keyboards and all your different languages are slightly different. But otherwise, that's pretty much it for the front of the box. On the side of the box, which is here, you can actually see what the keyboard looks from side view, so it gives you a rough idea. You can see the cable there, so this is a cabled keyboard, which is good because cabled keyboards generally give you the best response time, especially when gaming. So on the back of the box, it gives you a few bits of specifications on there as well, but basically it says it's a Cherry MX G80-3000N TKL keyboard with RGB base, which is the same as what it says on that one, with the exception of the TKL bit. Then you've got multilingual writing on the back, so you've got all your different languages depending on what you want to learn about. And the only other bit is on this side here, it does have some specifications there, which basically just says it comes with MX red silent switches in there. Otherwise, the main advantage of this is obviously it is a mechanical original Cherry MX switch, which basically means they are top of the range generally. Cherry are renowned to be the best switches, the original switches, if you want to really put it that way. Obviously, some of you are going to probably say otherwise, so if you think Cherry are not very good or you prefer a different type of switch, let us know in the comments below. Right, so you've got your Cherry MX technology. All keys are precision gold Crosspoint switches, made in Germany, 16 million colours, configurable RGB backlighting, full N key rollover with unlimited key inputs, anti-ghosting, win-lock key, and you've also got durable key lettering. And one thing to know, with it being German, you can tell it's German by just looking at the side of it when they tell you what's in the box. They just say, you get keyboard manual. Can't get any more German than that. Okay, so down to what's inside the box. First of all, packaging. There wasn't a huge amount of packaging, to be honest with you. All there is this basically tissue paper, which is black, which you could potentially reuse, use for packaging or something along that lines. And it's also biodegradable as well, which is even better. So very good for the packaging there. The only thing I would say environmental-wise was get rid of the manuals, get a QR code in there instead, or put a QR code on the back of the box, because you do supply two bits of paperwork with each one. You've got obviously the manual, which is quite big and is mainly multilingual, but it does tell you what all the keys do. Honestly, QR code's the way to go because you can update that. Saves you money, saves the environment and everything else as well. Don't need to cut down as many trees or recycle as much paper and so forth. And the other piece of paper, by the looks of it, is the warranty. Again, that could be done on the website or even on the back of the box. There's plenty of white area on that box where you could actually put information like that on there, in all honesty. Going to the keyboards now. Okay, so let's have a close-up look at the keyboards then. So as you can see, this is the full-size one. That's the 10 kilos one, obviously. The cabling on both of the keyboards is standard rubberized cable. It's not wrapped or anything like that, braided or anything along that lines. So the keyboard itself, as you can see, the keys are all black. The actual plastic is black. They are quite heavy. So they have got a bit of weight behind them. Don't get me wrong, they're not the heaviest, but the heavier than most keyboards. And it's plastic all the way around. So you've got plenty, you can see there. The feet on the bottom, it does have rubberized feet in each corner and in the center on the front. And on the back, there is rubber on the actual stand. And also there is rubber behind the stand if you've got the flip stands open to raise the back up, so that's good. There's no pass-throughs or anything like that on the keyboard, so you can't add any more USB connections or anything like that to it. But overall, it seems pretty nice. They don't slip around because of the rubberized bottoms on there, so they should hold their grip on your table depending on the surface you've got it on. So that's pretty good. So the keycaps themselves should just pull off. They're going to be quite hard to pull off though. We'll do some close-ups of those in a few seconds because they're quite set into the actual keyboard, so you can't easily get your fingers around them. And they don't come with a keycap remover, so it might be a little bit difficult to replace the keys than on some keyboards. Don't get me wrong, you can replace, you just have to get a grip in there. So if you've got a keycap remover, it does make things a little bit easier. Otherwise, you're going to have to try and pry them out somehow. But just watch them if you do that, because the last thing you want to do is break them. So you do have software. The Cherry utility you can get from their website is a brilliant program, lets you adjust all your lighting and everything like that. We'll run through some of the options in a few minutes. But the basics is there are some preset keys on here to change the lighting effects and stuff like that. So the first one is obviously hold function key down first. And then you've got, if you press the F4 key here, you'll find that turns the lighting off. You got turns the lighting on. If you press it again, it goes off and on. And then you've got F1 to 3. If you press those, it comes up with different styles and designs of RGB effects and so forth. So it depends on exactly what you want. So I'll have you, then you have to give you a rough idea and so forth. Let's go back to the original one. There you go. And saying, if you press F1, F2, it doesn't actually do anything. It's just the number 3, unfortunately. So I thought it was F1 and F2, but it's not. So you can adjust the backlight as well. So how bright you want it or dark by pressing function and F5 and F6. So for example, that's low and that's high. And it's exactly the same using the 10 kilos keyboard as well. You can change the light speed effect as well by using the F7 key and F8 key. That'll make the RGB effect move faster or slower depending on how you want it. And then you've got some like hot buttons across the top here, what you can use as well in different places on the keyboard, which will allow you to do things like play, pause, next title, volume up, down, sound on and off, and calculator, all your different bits and bobs like that. But it's all in the manual anyway. But as you can see, the RGB effects do look pretty good. Bear in mind, we do have the studio lights down to about half at the moment, so you can see it. If you've got a really bright room, which is pretty much the same with most RGB keyboards, you may struggle to see it, but if you're in a dark room or dull room, it should look pretty nice. Okay, so we managed to take the keys off with a little difficulty, but if you have got a keycap remover, they will come out pretty easily. But because they're sunken in slightly, it's hard to get your fingers around them as you would normally. But as you can see, the keycaps there, these are definitely red switches, MX red silence as well, which makes them pretty quiet. We'll do a sound test in a second, but as you can see there, it looks pretty standard. So you should be able to get your own keycaps if you wanted to customize it if you wanted to. Okay, now we're going to do a quick sound test. So this is the microphone here, wireless Rode microphone. It is exactly 20 centimeters away from the keyboard or the first line of keys, so it gives you a rough idea how loud it actually is. Because it's MX Red silent, shouldn't be that loud compared to normals, for example reds, blues and so forth, but here goes. So there you go, gives you a rough idea. I think that's perfectly quiet, to be honest with you, especially for a mechanical keyboard. So that's pretty good. It passes on my tests anyway, let's put it that way. So I'll be happy to have a keyboard like that in the office. So in conclusion, would I recommend one of these? Well, yeah, it does everything it says on the tin, as long as you can get it for a decent price. Obviously, prices are up and down on the market and everything at the moment, but I'm very happy with this keyboard. It does everything it says it should. You've got some decent software with it as well. The software is pretty straightforward. We can see what it looks like, but you can change all your lighting effects, and you've got all your macros and everything like that you want to use in there as well, so that's pretty good. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the software. Did say we were going to B-roll it, but we're going to have a quick look at it anyway. So as you can see here, you've got your keyboard. It shows you what it looks like. We've got the keyboard there. So you can change how you want it. You can have it on wave effect. You can have it on spectrum effect, which is pretty good. You can change, obviously, the speed and everything. There's an apply button at the bottom to change it. So it gives you a rough idea. You've got breathing as well. You can change the color effects of that. Let's say that, and it gives you a rough idea. So you've got rolling as well, and apply. You do have to press apply after each time, and you can change again the speed. You've got curve, you've got scan, radiation, so you have to press a key and it radiates from it. You've also got ripples as well, which is a very similar thing, but it's more larger effect. Then you've got single key, so that just lights up the single keys. You've also got static, so it's a specific color. Again, you can choose what color you're wanting. So you want it red, blue, pink, purple, whatever. You can choose that color. And you've got custom. This is where you can define each individual key and have it a certain color if you wanted to. So if you wanted W, A, S, and D one color, you wanted your shift key a completely different color, as well as your caps lock, and then space a completely different color yet again. You can do all that with ease, and you don't have to have lights on some of the keys if you're not using them and stuff like that, which is pretty good. I don't see an option for profiles. It would be nice to have if you had different profile options on there. Let's get rid of this Windows Update message. There doesn't seem to be any sort of profile, so you can save it onto that. So you can, when you play in one game, you can set it to one, and then you can go back in and change it between the two. You do have user key options on there, which is basically where you can create macros and stuff like that. So you press create, and then you basically press what keys you want and so forth. And it'll create your macro. You've got different options on there. So you've got map, macro, text, and so forth. And then you've got keyboard settings hiding right at the top hand corner here, which we didn't even realize was there until we reviewed another product, and we just saw it. It's just hiding at the top. There you can change the USB polling rate between 1000 Hertz all the way down to 125, as well as the brightness. You can change between off. For example, it turns all the lights off, low, and or medium, high, and full. So it gives you a rough idea. Again, most of that stuff you can do directly on the keyboard anyway. Thank you for watching this video, everyone. It's really appreciated you made it all the way to the end. Please make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and even click that bell so you get notifications of new videos and live streams. It does help support the channel, and supporting the channel basically means that we can release more content for you, and also better quality content going forward. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.